going to go on and go to 12.2. That'll just give us more time to review on Wednesday. So whatever you get done homework-wise by Wednesday is fine. So the chi-square test for independence is used to determine whether there's an association between a row variable and a column variable in a contingency table constructed from sample data. The null hypothesis is that the variables are independent. The alternative is showing that the variables are dependent. So here's an example. We're looking at the marital status of a number of people and whether they consider themselves very happy, pretty happy, or not too happy. And the marital status they used were married, widowed, divorced or separated, and never married. This is from some general social survey of adult Americans. So the question is there a relationship based on this data between marital status and perceived happiness? So we're going to use StatCrunch and enter the data as shown. It's just like when we were doing the contingency tables in Chapter 4. Enter it the same way. And in fact, we're going to use tables, contingency with summary, just like we did in Chapter 4. So it's the same idea. So we're going to choose as our columns all the different titles of the columns, and that's why we write them in here. And where are our row labels? In var1 are the row labels. But the one other thing we're going to do is if you scroll down from there, you have a hypothesis test you can choose. So this is the thing that's different. Is below, this is what we did in Chapter 4. This is new, which is to choose the chi-square test for independence. So everything else is the same except for that. And then this is what the numbers are going to look like, the results look like. So it's totaling all the columns and the rows. Remember, it did that when we were doing Chapter 4. But now we're also looking as, is there a relationship between the marital status, this variable, and this variable here. So the p-value they gave us is very small, so small it's less than 0.0001. And so then the p-value is less than alpha, so we reject the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis says there's no relationship. The alternative hypothesis says there is a relationship, so they are dependent. So because the p-value is greater than alpha, we reject the null and say that happiness and marital status are related. So when we started Chapter 4, we were looking at whether two numerical columns were related, right? We're looking for that relationship, the linear correlation, and using the regression line. So this allows us to look at two categorical variables, marital status and happiness level, and to see if they are related or not statistically. Any questions? So that kind of wraps up everything. That's the end of Math 150. We have covered it all. I started to get together a practice test for you and I just ran out of time this afternoon. So I will have that for you on Wednesday.